Royal family, blessed love to each and everyone. Give thanks for your presence with us. Of course, we glorify Negus and Agas, and of course, I welcome you to the Tiger's Nest. And this is a very special edition of the Tiger's Nest. This is a part of our fundraising campaign. Let me repeat, this is a part of our fundraising campaign as it relates to the mission to Ethiopia. So off the bat, I'm going to tell you this is a lengthy program. Yes, we're going to be answering the question, can Rastafari save Ethiopia from Bill Gates? And I'm going to tell you why we brought that up. That was something that an individual that commented on the previous video that we did ask. He was saying, why are you speaking about this? Rastafari cannot do anything to save Ethiopia from Bill Gates. Well, you see, let me tell you, family, it's not about Rastafari just saving Ethiopia from him specifically. Rastafari is the savior of the world. Now, let me highlight Rastafari the man, yes, but we're speaking of Rastafari the movement. Rastafari the nation is here to save not just Ethiopia, again, humanity, mankind, and not just from him, but him and the likes of him. And I will prove that this evening. Don't worry. We're going to discuss that in depth. You don't have to be afraid because we as a Rastafari have already begun that process of saving the world, if you want to use those terms. Now, royal family, again, let me highlight that this evening we have several things that we're going to cover. In fact, what I'm going to begin with is even showing you the palace where Mr. Bill Gates got his special award. Some people are not too happy about that. I mean, the palace of the King of Kings. But again, family, for those who do not know, we have a serious mission that we will be making to Ethiopia, diplomatic mission, business mission, humanitarian mission, fact-finding mission, research, educational mission. And of course, this will be taking place in the month of September. So we are on the campaign right now. We have an official fundraising campaign that we are on. And this evening, we're going to take the time to crank up that fundraising campaign. So I will be highlighting not only the mission and what it is all about, but we are looking for those of you who are observing, who are watching, those of you who are well wishers. We are looking for you to start from this evening the whole process of contributing or donating to the mission to Ethiopia. Now, of course, the information is right in front of you. For those of you who do not know, you can easily contact me, email me, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com, or you can even WhatsApp us at 1268 728 8289. And of course, you could definitely get more information or you can directly make your contribution. Remember, we have the Cash App. Remember, we have the Zelle. Remember, we have the PayPal. Yes, we have it all. For those of you who understand the mission, and again, make sure you stick with us. This is the evening for you to get all your snacks together. Trust me, we're going to be here for a moment. This is the evening for you to get your meds. Share the link, call a friend, share the video, like the video. You done know, subscribe and the whole works. And listen to me, we're going to have a bit of a movie night as well. Yes, we will be commenting on Apedemek. Family, there's so many things I want us to get into this evening. My chalice is right here and ready. And again, the mission to Ethiopia is the subject really for this evening. But what I would like to do is to begin by showing you, for those who do not know, the very palace that Bill Gates got his award in. We're going to go deep into that there, family. Trust me. Now, let me highlight this is, I would say, the forerunner edition of the ambassador's pen. This is the first ambassador's pen that we would have done. Peace in the horn. of Africa. And within this ambassador's pen, we did a video highlighting, or we embedded a video highlighting not only the Jubilee Palace, but the renovated Jubilee Palace. And of course, this was done by the present Ethiopian government under the leadership of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Again, they would have restored the palace in Ethiopia. I'm talking about the Jubilee Palace, which they refer to as the Grand Palace. So I would just like to begin there for this evening, family. This ain't no rush. We have a beautiful evening. If you were to go away and come back in an hour, we still will be here, but we are not encouraging you to go anywhere at all. You just stick right here with us as we definitely continue to go on another level. Now, this is going to be beautiful. Just make sure, again, you are well in tune. Let's check out the Grand National Palace in Ethiopia.
Discover Ethiopia's hidden royal legacy. For centuries, Ethiopia's majestic royal residences remained shrouded in mystery, closed off to the public despite their prominence in urban landscapes. Now, thanks to the restoration initiative led by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, starting with the Grand Palace, now known as Unity Park, these historic sites have opened their gates, offering a rare glimpse into...
And family, I must say once more, again, this is very important. This video that you're looking at, you can go right in the magazine and see the video. That's how the magazine has been designed. The flip book specifically, you just open the flip book of the ambassador's pen, that is Peace in the Horn of Africa. And then, of course, you turn the pages and you come straight to the page and it will begin to play automatically. How you like
Discover Ethiopia's hidden royal legacy. For centuries, Ethiopia's majestic royal residences remained shrouded in mystery, closed off to the public despite their prominence in urban landscapes. Now, thanks to the restoration initiative led by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, starting with the Grand Palace, now known as Unity Park, these historic sites have opened their gates, offering a rare glimpse into Ethiopia's regal past. Discover Ethiopia's hidden royal legacy. For centuries, Ethiopia's majestic royal residences remained shrouded in mystery, closed off to the public despite their prominence in urban landscapes. Now, thanks to the restoration initiative led by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, starting with the Grand Palace, now known as Unity Park, these historic sites have opened their gates, offering a rare glimpse into Ethiopia's regal past. Welcome to the National Palace. Originally built to commemorate Emperor Haile Selassie's Silver Jubilee, the National Palace stands as an iconic landmark and a testament to Ethiopia's rich heritage. Once a space reserved for royalty, national leaders and dignitaries, it has now been transformed into a shared treasure for all to experience. This historic compound, which houses time-honored buildings and national treasures, had long been neglected, becoming overgrown with vegetation. Close to the public, the palace and its grounds fell into disrepair, characterized by dim lighting, dusty rooms, and ivy-covered walls. However, now fully restored, it stands in grace, welcoming everyone to visit and enjoy its beauty. Given the palace's collections and historical artifacts of significant value to the nation, its preservation and restoration have been undertaken with great care. The meticulous restoration process has been guided by specialists, ensuring that the palace retains its historical and cultural significance. Considerable energy and effort have been invested to maintain its current appearance. Spanning over 27 hectares in the vibrant heart of Addis Ababa, the National Palace serves as a sanctuary of Ethiopia's rich history, beautifully intertwined with expansive natural landscapes. The grounds feature historic tree species, lush greenery, tranquil fountains, and architectural wonders. From its serene pathways to the meticulously restored Royal Dining Hall, where many world leaders were once hosted, the palace tells a story of global significance. A journey through time. Stepping into the newly constructed vehicle gallery is like embarking on a journey to the past. Here, restored automobiles, carriages, and train wagons, once used by Ethiopian royalty, are showcased in the specially built gallery for the public to explore. The luxurious and eclectic car collection were both symbols of prestige and practical means of state transportation. The fleet, which included luxurious vehicles such as Rolls-Royce Phantom 4s, Mercedes-Benz 600 Pullman limousines, Packard Super 8s, Cadillac Fleetwood limousines, and Lincoln Continentals, often used for state ceremonies and official engagements, also features practical vehicles like Land Rovers for navigating Ethiopia's rugged terrain, along with Fiats and Peugeots. These vehicles were abandoned in a shanty warehouse until Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed initiated their restoration and spearheaded the construction of Ethiopia's first modern vehicle gallery within the National Palace. Visitors can explore carriages that once welcomed and bid farewell to national leaders and guests, as well as those that were used for touring the city. The vehicle gallery also features 2 train wagons, both equipped with sleeping quarters, a dining area, a bathroom, and an office. These lavish trains were used by the emperor for both work and leisure during trips to Harar. Upon exiting the vehicle gallery, visitors stroll through the pristine grounds and are greeted by the ornate golden entrance of the palace halls and chambers. Inside, they are welcomed by soaring ceilings and softly illuminated walls. Wide steps lead to spacious reception rooms, the banquet hall, and what was once the emperor's residential quarters. Every detail has been meticulously restored, preserving the palace's historical essence. These spaces have witnessed key moments in Ethiopia's history, from state banquets to pivotal diplomatic meetings. As visitors descend into the basement, they encounter the newly constructed Palace Museum, featuring the palace's rich history, exhibits of royal regalia, artifacts, significant gifts, including ivory tusks and gold ornaments. The Palace Museum houses regal treasures, crowns, thrones, ornate dining utensils, and leather-bound books. Each artifact resonates with Ethiopia's rich cultural heritage and its connections to the world. From exquisite crowns once worn by emperors to intricately designed thrones, these items reflect the artistry and craftsmanship of a bygone era. Emerging from the museum into the back of the palace grounds, a spacious garden area awaits. Designed as a peaceful retreat, the garden features manicured plants, a pond, stone paths, and bamboo bushes and a bridge. The garden provides a tranquil environment where visitors can experience a moment of calm. Nearby, a newly built natural hot spring spa offers visitors a serene space for relaxation and respite. The spa harnesses the therapeutic power of the area's geothermal waters, providing a tranquil environment where guests can immerse themselves in warm, mineral-rich waters known for their healing properties. Whether for a quiet escape or a wellness experience, the spa adds a luxurious and restorative dimension to the National Palace grounds. The palace also offers a variety of amenities designed to provide comfort and relaxation for visitors. Among these are exquisite cafes and restaurants presenting a range of culinary experiences where guests can indulge in both traditional Ethiopian dishes and international cuisine, all served in a refined, elegant setting. Additionally, the African Mosaic and Addis House of Culture showcase the vibrant interplay of fashion and art. The National Palace is truly more than an urban destination. It's a bridge between Ethiopia's past and present, offering a space for learning, connection, and celebration. Whether you're admiring the treasures of the vehicle gallery, wandering the lush grounds and manicured lawns, or marveling at the royal regalia, each moment here is a step deeper into Ethiopia's extraordinary history.
Beautiful, beautiful. And as I said, royal family, all you have to do when you get a copy of the Ambassador's Pen, the Forerunner edition, you just flip to page 4, and that beautiful video will just begin to play. It is also seen on our YouTube channel as well, the Grand National Palace in Ethiopia. So that is the place where the gates of hell got his award, the highest award in Ethiopia, in the house of our God and King. Now, to answer the question, really, let me just get to that question so I can move on, because the individual was saying, and people say these things. I mean, what can you do about anything? And maybe Rastafari, I guess, ain't doing nothing, and whatever you may think. But you see, this is why we have a mission to Ethiopia, royal family. We, Rastafari, number one, we are the ones that have been preserving the anciency as it relates to certain aspects of history, certain aspects of the science and the anciency, and of course, without a doubt, the true knowledge of Haile Selassie. It has been, secured by I and I, Rastafari. Now, there are aspects of our culture that no one can deny, that the world has now taken up. We can speak about the locks. And remember, I've been in it long enough. I remember that when we used to go to the church, I used to go to the Anglican church. Even if you were a boy with plait hair, you couldn't come into that church. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Much, much less locks. Now, the preacher has locks. You understand? And in fact, everybody has locks, even queer people with the pink locks. Remember, we were not just ostracized for carrying locks, We were murdered, homicide. We weren't just thrown in prison. We walked in and were taken out on a stretcher in the prison, and they didn't have to carry us to the hospital, straight to the morgue. That's the kind of treatment we got for carrying locks, So we bear that, or bore that. We have the stripes on our back to witness that. And then, of course, even the food that we ate, or the food that we eat, we call it ital, because it's vital. Today, you hear about vegan and vegetarian. And listen to this, the vegetarian now, You have all sort of different sort of vegetarians. You don't even have to just eat vegetables alone. You could eat fish and egg and still pass the vegetarian test. But the vital, no animal, nothing with feathers. No eyes, nothing that left its child or children under the rock or in the nest. We don't do that, you know. The wicked Babylon would come into our campground and kick the jabber pot off the fire, you know. Our old people, bless their heart, would tell us to leave the home because no two-pot cooking in here. That was the specific margin orders that I got. No pot cooking in here. Now, right now, the world is vegan, and you need to eat more green, leafy vegetables, says the head of the medical fraternity. He's still prescribing the pills, but you have to eat more green, leafy vegetables. And I'm trying to show you things that Rastafari were persecuted for, mainstream today. Let's not talk about the ganja. Hmm? Oh my. I'm telling you. Remember, I'm speaking of what I know. I know the whole world is embracing marijuana and cannabis. Eh. So even when it comes to Haile Selassie, the first himself, there was a time when you couldn't call his name, and we defended the king on our shirts and our badges. You think it was an easy thing to rise up saying Haile Selassie in a country that was not independent and was under the rulership of another monarchy, namely Britain? That is one of the reasons why the persecution was so strong. Not because they believed he was the returned Messiah, but you're hailing a monarch separate from their monarch, ostracized, penalized, brutalized. Rastafari, I'm telling you. But then now, what it is, you have leaders of the Caribbean. And remember, it was the great Haile Selassie the first that once said, oh, is that so? And if we follow the example of Marcus Garvey, you don't say. And I'm not speaking of what I read in the books, From the time I was 20, I was on the radio and I didn't start doing foolishness. I started several days after I accepted Haile Selassie the first as the Almighty God. And that was the mission. So I know what was the do's and don'ts and what you were supposed to say and what you weren't supposed to say. And I can tell you how times have changed. So anyway, I'm saying all of that lengthy this reasoning there, just to let you know that we as Rastafari, especially when it comes to re-edifying the people, we are the professors. Don't fool yourself. We are the professors. You see, I'm going to show you something here in a moment. The present prime minister of Ethiopia, I don't know what really went to his head with him and Bill Gates, really, but I can say I, like many people, would have admired not only the renovations that are being done in Ethiopia, but the different structures, infrastructures that are being established in relatively short years. There seemed to be a stain on the brother because of the war with the Tigrayan people. I don't want to get into that now, which we would have done. We would have done programs on that. For example, dealing with the spirit of Menelik II involved in it. Maybe sometime throughout this program, I will pull up a bit of it because I intend to be here for a little bit, But I'm just showing you, please listen to me good, that in Ethiopia right now, for example, he would have established the government, really, would have established the Addis Ababa, not Addis Ababa, pardon me, the Battle of Adawa Memorial Museum. In fact, I have a clip of that prepared. Also, this will be taken from a YouTube channel. Let us just look at it. I will turn the volume down just a bit. So what you have there, of course, this is the Battle of Adawa Memorial Museum and Complex. And of course, it is highlighting, the great victory of the Ethiopians against the Italians in 1896, the Battle of Adawa. So this museum and complex is a full region, more than just a museum. And of course it highlights the great warriors. You would see the great Empress Taitu and the great Menelik II and the great Ras Mokenen and the great Ras Alula, all seen in statues. In front of the building there's a specific waterway where Menelik II and Empress Taitu is standing before the waterway, and Empress Taitu is pointing towards the waterway, which is really symbolic of the history of the Battle of Adawa. And the history is that the Italians themselves, they would have captured a fortress, and the Ethiopians, this is just a few days before the actual famous Battle of Adawa, and the Ethiopians would have surrounded them, and Rasmussen it is wanted to attack, and there were those, including Empress Taitu, who didn't think that that was a wise move, because although we could have overpowered them, they were in a very strategic position where they could have overcome us, and we did attack, and we had some casualties. I think we lost about 500 men, according to the history. And the next day, Empress Taitu suggested that they cut off the waterway, the water supply. And that really was what, if you want to say starved, if that's the right term, the Italians. And so they lost that whole access to the water, and that brought them out, and we were able to even charge upon them. So Empress Taitu is remembered for that, even in the architecture of um, this new establishment, the new museum, the new area complex it is. And when I say new, I mean new. I think it was inaugurated like 2 years ago on the 1st of March. So that is just another example that I'm just highlighting to you, royal family, as it relates to Ethiopia and the not only the growth but the development, because we can speak of the economic aspect of it. Of course, many ones would know of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. I speak of it from time to time, but that as well has its own historical foundation too. Everything has history. And this is the point I'm making. This is the point, not to draw along the point. This is the main point. Most of what is being erected in Ethiopia as such is somewhat a reminiscence of the past. And in many cases, you have to point directly to Haile Selassie the First. And remember, these were some of the last words Haile Selassie gave to the Derg when they were taking him out. And this was his grandson who said this, that he told them if they do not treat the people right, their history will fade away and my history will return. And for those who follow Ethiopian history, again, for example, okay, they renovated that great palace. This is the palace that every leader and president and prime minister and everyone comes, and all the ambassadors have to come and see this palace now. What do you think is being said to them when they are given a tour of the palace? Hmm? I mean, and they're expressing the truth, because these are the regalia of Haile Selassie the First. These are the medallions of Haile Selassie the First. This is one of his walking stick and the scepter and the golden orb and the golden this and whatever it is. This crown belonged to maybe another king and this queen, but the majority of what is taking place there is Haile Selassie the First. And this is why we highlight, that from time to time, that when you even observe the the most outstanding airline in Ethiopia, in Africa, pardon me, is obviously Ethiopian Airlines. We all know where Ethiopian Airlines had its beginning. And although Ethiopia itself at this moment is really somewhat taking a next step into the future, it is, really, it is. This all began, without a doubt, somewhat with Menelik II, but if we're going to be honest, we know that it is Haile Selassie I that really concretized this modernization program. And to show you that it wasn't just about, it was the time after Haile Selassie I, it really slowed down. Ethiopia was like a dull gray space for a moment. That's just the truth. But as it's the diplomatic number one diplomatic hub in Africa today, it has the most ambassadors of any African country, at this moment. So it is something that we celebrate. I don't know what on earth we needed to bring Mr. Gates a hell there with his 10x chickens and his 10x eggs. All right, royal family. So this is really the mission to Ethiopia agenda. This is the proposal, the fundraiser campaign, royal family. So for those who do not know now, we will be conducting a mission to Ethiopia. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to read it for you, and then we will say a bit more. Please just give me your ear. Mission to Ethiopia overview. The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge will be visiting Ethiopia officially as early as August 2025 to October 2025. We will be launching both the Ambassador's Pen and Kidemi, two digital publications of our online magazine collection. The previous issues of the Ambassador's Pen highlights the culture, history, and geopolitical public affairs happening in the Horn of Africa. Now, let me say that this was written prior to the revolutionary edition of the Ambassador's Pen that is out right now. So really the previous edition was the revolutionary edition. And you see a copy here. This is the latest, as they call it, but it wasn't late at all. It was right on time. But anyway, the latest edition of the ambassador's pen, the progress of Ibrahim Chouari, and you could definitely get your copy. The link is in the description below the video. Just go below the video and the links of all the magazines are just there, free of cost. You don't have to pay anything to go through the ambassador's pen. And of course, Kidemi. All right, let me continue. The magazine Kidemi, also called the cultural icon, takes a conscious look at reality. The December 21st edition cover story highlights the heritage site Greencastle Hill and the historical research documented on this national park here in Antigua, Caribbean, the West Indies. On our visit to Ethiopia, this is very important. The family, I want you to get this very important point here. On our visit to Ethiopia, we will be visiting several business professionals, owners of hotels and resorts. Maybe I should have put all of that in bold letters, as well as government officials. So I'm just saying this, This is obviously a business move and a diplomatic mission. We will be pitching our business proposals to create long-standing professional contacts and international relationships between Africa and the diaspora. The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge will be present, at the second African Union CARICOM Summit on the 7th of September 2025 at the Adawa Memorial Museum located in the capital of Addis Ababa. Now, the paper said we will be present. I began to say we will be presenting. You didn't hear that? I said the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge will be presenting at the second African Union CARICOM Summit on the 7th of September 2025 at the Adawa Memorial Museum located in the capital of Addis Ababa. Yeah, but as I was saying that, I pull it back. You see the powers? Pull it back. So there's powers in your words. Yeah, we will be presented. But anyway, let's continue. As a legally registered entity in the twin island nation of Antigua and Barbuda, the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge, will be representing many businesses in Antigua and beyond. For example, businesses that advertise with our publications will be highlighted in our speeches and interviews. And as you could see, I highlight that, which is basically the main point here. Now, again, before we move on, not to keep you too long in this for now, I even want to get to the video that I want us to watch this evening, and we're going to be commenting on the video as well. But before we go here, this again is the mission to Ethiopia, what is known as the proposal. So I'm inviting everyone. Some of you would have already contacted me to get your copy. I'm very thankful. Just email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, so you can go through your proposal properly. Now, we are definitely looking forward to individuals partnering with us, family. This is not just about, if you want to say, contributing, I want to show you that we definitely have our sponsorship rates, our different sponsorship, if you want to say, where they are your gold sponsor, oh, there they are. Your full sponsorship, your platinum sponsorship, your diamond sponsorship, your gold sponsorship, and your silver sponsorship. So remember now, this is an international mission. This is the team, the institute team. You have the head of missions. You have the administrative director, events manager, chief assistants to the head of missions, second assistants to the head of missions, assistants to the assistant to the administrative director. I wonder if you understand what I'm saying. We have several events that we would have already earmarked from the 17th of August to the 14th of September. We have specific venues also that we would have already earmarked, from the Addis Ababa Library to the very same Grand Palace Hotel. We have 2 tours, royal family, that we would have instituted. And these are the Addis Ababa tour as well as the national tour. So we have packages for those who would want to come with us and be a part, or join us there and be a part of those activities as well. I want you to understand what I'm saying well, family, and this is why I am encouraging you again to get your copy of the proposal. Now, within the proposal, again, you have the different levels of sponsorship. The whole package has a budget of $118,000. Now, that obviously you just saw the team, but outside of the team, you can get into all aspects of budgeting and expenditure, from tickets to accommodations to transportation to security, and to the rental of venues for these gala events, and airtime and studio time and radio time. I'm bringing everyone into what the world of planning and executing and being a Menelik II on the battlefield is all about. You understand? So you give thanks when you're a Menelik II and you have Empress Title with you. You give thanks when you're a Menelik II and you have Empress Zaditu with you, and Rasmokenen with you, so you can get the job done properly. So the budget itself also includes not just radio time as far as advertisements and ads, but interviews, and literally creating radio series of programs for radio and television as well, because you got to promote yourself, market yourself, and make sure it is known that you're in the land. Because we, as Rastafari now, we have a very strong mission. Remember, the institute mission is different. It's about education. No one can deny that even the Ethiopian people are void of the knowledge, the true knowledge of self. You understand? And this is why it is a joy to see that with the construction and reconstruction and renovation of many ancient sites, and many ancient churches, and even highlighting many ancient historical events through monuments, it is good to see that the history of Ethiopia is being highlighted again, to me, from my observation, after many decades. You understand? Rastafari has a very important part to play in that, because they are key aspects again of even Ethiopian history, and without a doubt, Haile Selassie I, that those of us within the realms of the educational department of Rastafari, we have something that the rest of the world don't have. So we're not here to be sitting in the audience and listening to no Harvard or no Oxford or no Yale professor coming to teach us, not unless we are the professor. You understand? We don't mind listening to someone's reasoning, but don't get the idea as if you're going to take this over like how you take took over everything else. Yeah, man. As I would have said before, you can go to a saloon now and get your locks. You can go to a saloon, the locks that was scorned, you can go to a saloon and get your locks. That's an industry that we did not capitalize on as Rastafari. We did not even capitalize on the so-called vegan, vegetarian, none of these things. We have not even capitalized on the cannabis, you know. People have capitalized on all of this stuff, the same stuff again that we were brutalized for, ostracized for, beaten, killed, and all this stuff for. You understand? So again, now that the history is coming out, you go on the YouTube, everybody's trying to do a video about Haile Selassie now. Can you imagine that? I could remember the days when it was me and the rabbi, Rastafari sabbatical, and one or two other ones trying to make a sound. Nobody saying nothing about Haile Selassie. Yeah, and give thanks that a few others from our fold would have risen up to enter, the arena and spread their good words as well. But it's still a handful of us. But today, with AI plus a mixture of false information, everybody is doing a documentary on Haile Selassie now. Every time you blink, something new is out, something else, and something AI, and all sort of weird, strange, funny-looking pictures, trying to ugly up my King of Kings. Don't be playing with our King of Kings. Even Rastafari, be careful with the King of Kings. That's the King of Kings. That's not somebody to play with. No offense to anyone, eh? That's nobody, that's not someone to play with. That's just how I look at Haile Selassie. He's a bit different, You can make an AI maybe as somebody else, especially if it looks different. I mean, you got to be careful with the King of Kings. So the point I'm making is that this is the time for the knowledge to be expressed in scientific, historic, and well outlined fashion formation. That's why we have documentaries, we have books. You can bring it in poetry too. Reggae music would have carried the message thus far. You understand? But this is the time for the professor now. I'm very serious. I'm very serious. So the colleges and the universities, they are waiting for us to give them the course, to give them the full thesis, to give them the full understanding, to bring the curriculum to them so that they can understand Rastafari, the nation, Rastafari, the people, the culture, the man, yes, the same Haile Selassie the first. So the people, the nation in general, definitely need a strong re-education when it comes to the man, Haile Selassie the first, and we are the ones to do it. Now, of course, I know they have some eminent intellects. I mean, come on, that you have to sit at their feet, obviously, and elders in Ethiopia. But I'm just trying to show you that there's a specific jewel that those who are the descendants of the slave, who held on to Selassie's name when they couldn't even mention his name. Don't be playing around with us. Yeah? Again, we have the stripes on our back. They couldn't even speak his name, some of them, even if they fought with him on the battlefield. After a time when Mengistu took over, it was Red Terror. Yeah. And that is why the generations would have come in Ethiopia knowing nothing about Haile Selassie, knowing nothing about Menelik II. They just see the statue with the man on the horse. And that's the truth. I'm not asking you. I know what I'm saying. Eh? And that is the truth. But this is the time. So this is a diplomatic mission, family. And as I would have expressed to you, the mission is on, you know. It's not like we asking for it to happen. It's already happening. It's going to happen. It's there. It's already on. But the level of the mission, we are hoping that those of you who listen to us, who understand the works that we are doing, see the importance of this level of diplomatic exchange. You know, that is why we are having a fundraiser campaign. No government is sending us on this mission here. It is the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge that is championing this specific mission here. As I would have mentioned in a previous video, that there are other governments and governments within governments that I'm definitely a part of, which I would have reached out to. I mean, we have not received any assistance from any government. Let me just leave it at that. And this is a very important mission that will help every government. You understand? This is very serious, you know, family. I can't go into every detail for everyone's sake. You know, this ain't show and tell and the gossip hour and let's talk about this and that. This is not what the Tigersness is about. It's about serious people now. I shouldn't have to say all of this. This is about serious people saying, priest, just give us the information to send the money. How many people listening to me? Serious like that. Now, before I even go into that, family, what it is, even when you become a sponsor, remember, this is not a donation thing. The sponsorship comes with a package, a very serious package, as I would have read in the overview. This is a business mission from the Institute, and yet still a diplomatic mission. And at the same time, even as a business mission, when I say business, my personal business, you know, that's straight up, that's what it is, you know. So when individuals advertise in our magazines, what it is, they become a part of our whole marketing agenda. That's what it is. That's what I promote. So when you advertise with the ambassador's pen and you advertise with Kidemi, you don't just advertise with a magazine and your advertisement is in the magazine or your ad is in the magazine. No, you become a serious part of the campaign, the marketing campaign. So this is why we could establish packages, sponsorship packages that you now will be able to pick a package and your business will be promoted, not just on this mission, but the other missions that are a part of our international tour. Something we are not even getting into. We're just keeping it focused on the mission to Ethiopia. So let me give you an example here. So for example, you have the full sponsorship. That is $18,000. $118, pardon me, $1,000, $118,000. Now that's full sponsorship. And I mean, believe me, that covers the full move. Remember the seriousness of this move. It's not a trip. It's not a vacation. This is a diplomatic move that should be sponsored by any serious government. You have the talent, you have the resource in your country or a part of your organization that is willing to do what an ambassador that is ordained by a nation should be doing, and you bring it to your own nation, you bring it to your own organization, you even rap on the doors over and over again, and they can't see the seriousness of this mission. You know what I'm saying, family? when you would have proven yourself over and over again. And this is not, it's time to come out of the cocoon. The caterpillar cannot stay in the cocoon forever. You will die in the cocoon. So we can't wait on no one. We busting out of the cocoon. Butterfly time. Butterfly time. So this is why we're bringing this to the people that we think have an understanding of the mission, an understanding of the importance of what is taking place even at this hour. You follow me? So again, $118,000, that's the full sponsorship. And what you get with that, you get a spreadsheet in every edition of both magazines for 2025 and 2026. Also, your paraphernalia of business at every event. You understand? Business cards and brochures available at every event. A 6-foot standing poster promoting business. Every event again. Digital catalog, magazine for business. So for example, say you have a resort, or you have a trucking company, or whatever you have, a restaurant, and you make this full sponsorship. We will also do a magazine for you, a digital magazine, just like our magazine Kidemi. You get a magazine as well. In fact, with the platinum sponsorship from $76,000, you also get a magazine. In fact, the diamond sponsorship and the gold sponsorship going all the way down to $26,000, you can get a digital magazine. Family, what I'm saying really is that you're getting value. You may just be saying to yourself, well, boy, I'm not into them levels there. Well, whatever, if that's not your levels, it's not your levels. But I'm showing you that you're getting value for those who are on the levels. You are getting value for them levels here. And that's where we have to think, the little thinking and the shallow thinking and I'm not big enough thinking. No, man, we got to think big right now. If we intend to get big things done, we have to have big goals, big targets, not no little skimpy, skinny, wimpy thought and yeah, man, and I just need to come together and no, and get home to Africa and things will be great. Nobody think like that. No, man, not right now. That is foolishness. We got to plan and execute. We have to have an agenda. You understand? You have to have a budget. As you can see, this is how I run business. This is how I run my life. So this is a next step. We ain't going on no vacation, Rastafari. We're going on business. We're going on diplomacy. You understand? Now I can clearly tell you it's not every aspect of even my Congress I'm going to tackle you, but I am a priest of such, and definitely I will definitely represent the priesthood of the Honorable King Emmanuel in the land of Emperor Haile Selassie the first. So what I would like to highlight also, royal ones, you should advertise with the ambassador's pen. So now outside of all of the different, what you may call it, outside of all the different sponsorship levels of sponsorship, you have Kidemi. The next edition of Kidemi will be out for Haile Selassie's birthday. You can get a half page for $1,000. Hear me, the family. Now, let's just say, in the goodness of your heart, you said, hey, listen, Sandra, let's contribute $1,000 to Priest Isaac. I mean, Priest Isaac has always been edifying us and giving us some good words, and we have some money. Let's give Priest Isaac $1,000. You don't have to give Priest Isaac $1,000. Well, yeah, give Priest Isaac $1,000, and I will give you a half page in the magazine Kidemi. Now, Kidemi, as I always say, hey, if you really want to advertise, I would go in Kidemi. It may be a bit more expensive, but that's for a reason. That's Kidemi, man. Kidemi, you'll be flying in an airplane, you'll wait and see. And you put on the little board, the computer board, and what pops up? Kidemi. And we're already in the motion of completing deals of that nature. You understand what I'm saying, family? So you could get a half page. You could get a full page in Kidemi for 1,500. You could get a full spread, and that depends on the type of spread that you are getting as well, up to $3,000. You see, and then you could advertise in the ambassador's pen. And hear this. This is important. We have a 50% off until the 13th of this month, June. Friday the 13th of June. You should write these things down. Listen, I should be talking to my people now, my tribe. Everybody that's listening to me should be saying, yeah, man, that's our brother talking. That's the captain speaking here. You know, the general is here and giving us marching orders. That's really what it is. So you now, and this is the next thing. That's why we do these programs on business, because you can't tell me I have thousands of people that will be watching this, and all these thousands of people don't own not doing nothing as a business. Even if you have a job, you know, as I always say, you yourself, you are a business. You got to have something you own in as us, me, even if it's your job. You must be, you shouldn't be just doing the job. If you're doing a job and that's your job, like how there are people that are dedicated to their job. Some people so dedicated to their job they end up buying shares in their job and owning half of the job. Well, okay, maybe that's the case, but you got to have something you need to promote, something that you're so connected to that you can invest money into it knowing that it will benefit you. Yeah, that's what it is. Business, the existence of life. So again, you could definitely until the 13th of June. Yeah, write this down. Until the 13th of June, you'll definitely be able to get a half 50% off of the ambassador's pen, because the next edition of the ambassador's pen is scheduled to come out for the 24th, if I'm not mistaken, day of June. It is the 24th of June. So yeah, you need to get on board with that as well. So there's so many things. Obviously, give thanks for your patient listening. Don't go anywhere. We just began. We just began. This is just the start. Now, of course, there are those that, I mean, of course, there are those that will not be taking any of those sponsorship rates, full sponsorship, gold sponsorship, any sponsorship. In fact, there are those that wouldn't even advertise. Remember, we do the ads for you, all those beautiful ads that you see in the ambassador's pen. And remember, the link is in the description below the video for all the different magazines. They're free, no cost whatsoever. We do the ads for you unless you have an ad. You could get a video ad. Remember, our magazine is read by tens of thousands of people, Rastafari. We showed you all of that stats and everything already, so you understand that many ones are seeing your business. So it's actually a great investment. Plus, you are assisting something that you are a part of consciously. I don't know what on earth would be holding anyone back from contributing to this mission here, adding to the mission. That's why you have an admission. You add to the mission. You feel your pain. Oh, so much it costs. Then you want to discount. Check all these words. Admission, you are adding to the mission. Well, I'm giving a lecture. It's $20. I'm going to pay the admission, so you add to the mission. Oh my, $20? Give me for 10. I want a discount. You're dissing the count. You see what I'm saying? We done make that's the count, How much should we charge for the lecture? Say $20. Okay, 20. Why not 50? No, because 20, remember we have to make up for the building that we are buying. We have to make up for the transportation and we're gonna feed the people. Yeah, 20 is good. Maybe 25. No, leave it at 20. Okay, good. Hey, it's $20. $20. What about 10? You're dissing the count. The brothers them already make the count. You come diss the count. Come on, pay the 20 and add to the mission, admission. We need a whole new way of thinking. Yeah. So give thanks. This is not the time for us to be trying to con Vince, con Billy, or con anyone. You understand? This is the time for those of you who know the works we're doing to definitely, uh, I would say, step up now. This is a very important time. So if you think there's nothing for you to advertise or promote, for sure, I would encourage you, and you want to make the simple donation then. And when I say simple, it doesn't have to be simple. Simple doesn't mean 10 and 15, you know. You just simply want to make a donation. You don't want anything. You don't want no magazine promotion. You don't want no paraphernalia. You don't want your name, you know, lights. We don't want none of that. But you're still going to contribute to 50,000. No problem. Yeah. Or 40,000, 100,000, 10,000, 1,000, $50. You know. Mm. I wouldn't go no lower than that. Yeah, I mean, with all the taxes that's going to come off it, I mean, I wouldn't go. Let's just be realistic. This is $118,000 mission. You see, royal family, and our mission is freedom, redemption, international repatriation. So again, you could email us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. WhatsApp us 1-268-728-8289. And remember, we have all the different modes. You got the PayPal, you have the Cash App, you have the Zelle, where an individual could even make their contribution, make their donation, and you could again email us, WhatsApp us. We can talk business if you really want to, you know, make a bigger contribution to the mission and take a stronger sponsorship, so we can start to make details on, you know, your posters and what type of paraphernalia, whether it be mugs or cups and or what do you call fans and these different things. All of these things, we have all of that covered. T-shirts, we'll be carrying T-shirts with your company's name to the different lectures and television programs and you know, that we'll be doing. We have programs coming up in Ghana too, by the way. So let me just make that clear, and all of this will spill over into that. So again, it's a lot. It's a lot. You know, you may say, "Wow, we're saying a lot." I'm not saying anything. There's so much more to say, and I'm just looking for those who really would like to come on board now. And then this is another thing. You know, you yourself can be a part of it. As again, in most cases, you would meet us there, those who would want to come, and the tours that we are provided would be professionally done. Let me make that clear. All of that is already set in order. It will be professionally done. Um, um, of course, we will be just there as well to add the spice that the special spice that we as Rastafari have. But for sure, everything will be on the up and up with the professionalism. So no one at all has to worry anything when it comes to that aspect of the tour. So again, before we go into the video for the moment, because what we're going to do now, Royal Family, I'm just inviting everyone, even if you can make the pledge now. Yeah? I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I don't think we understand the importance of the mission, and sometimes we just sit and listen and, yeah, man, sound good, sound good. No, family, I want to feel that you're with me. So even if you make a pledge, let me feel you. I'm being very honest. I want to feel that you're with me. Even although this may be a premiere, put it in the chat because we watch it. So we can feel that, well, yes, brother, I pledge. Even if you don't want to put the amount that you pledge, but let me know that you pledge. Let me know that you're there with me. Let me know that, yeah, man, I support in this. No, I'm serious. Let me feel that. You can WhatsApp us as well. Let me know that, okay, brother, I mean, it's not there now, next week, tomorrow, whatever it is, but we pledging this, towards that mission to Ethiopia. That's how important. I mean, I'm sure you never see a brother come on this mission here, this level towards you. Why? Because this is about all of us. You obviously see that what we do is not about me. You understand? You can see that. It's everything about our heritage, our culture, even down to our geopolitics. Check the ambassador's pen. Just observe the nature of the writings that I put in the ambassador's pen. It's all about what's happening now, real time, geopolitics, because it's important. You must understand how to deal with government to government relationships at this time. You understand? You don't open the ambassador's pen and see no to theological, nothing too much deep thing and pyramids, and you may see a bit of that in Kidemi. And although the ambassador's pen also highlights culture, but again from a very geopolitical perspective. And so this is the level, family, as we are graduating into a different dimension. One's talk about the Aquarius age and all of these different things, different time zone, different energy, different frequency. So we haven't put anything aside, that same spirit, ancestral calling is still with us. It's the same calling, the same energy of decoding the heavens and reading all the stars. You take it and you put it into diplomacy. That's what's called tiger diplomacy. So family, at least let me know that you're with me. I'm very serious. Let me know that you're with me. Sometimes I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I don't think the people, understand the importance. Again, this is not entertainment. It's because they're watching YouTube. We didn't come to have no good time and say, hey, what's going on? Well, tonight we got no, no, no. This is real open warfare. This is why even me, the presenter, you got to even know how to speak too, because this is like we're having a like you and your generals having what you call a place, the situation room. You and your generals having a meeting, strategizing the next move against the enemy. That's what we're doing here. But listen to this: the enemy watching us. This is the thing about this here now. The enemy and anybody else watching us. Some of you maybe the enemy too. Well, obviously, if the enemy watching us, somebody here is the enemy because the enemy watching us. You see what I'm saying? So I still have to be sitting amongst my generals, giving, well, this is the plan. You're gonna go over here, you go over here. We're gonna need this and we need that. Knowing that who we're going to attack, watching us, and we know that. We're gonna have a Zoom meeting tonight. Who owns this Zoom stuff here? Well, join me on Skype. Where? Just WhatsApp me. Nobody will know. Is that so? All right, family. What I would like to do now, I hope everyone is good and give thanks for your patience and your attention. What we're going to go into right now, beautiful. I want to even highlight something here. We're going to be taking a bit in with Apedemek. And of course, Apedemek, as you know, is that documentary of ours where it was what you would call it, the finalist in 2 film festivals. And let us take a look at Apedemek for the moment. Get your meditation together. Don't go anywhere. As I said, I'm just looking forward to everyone being a part of this mission, one way or the other. The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge presents an international homeschool program that offers African heritage, biology, astronomy, language arts, yoga, and much more. Our classes are created with the young ones in mind, and we cater to youths from kindergarten to high school. Children love our colorful and very animated lessons, while parents recommend it to friends and family. Contact us for a free preview and see for yourself why investing in the international homeschool program will be of great benefit to you and your young ones. Bless you. From the makers of the Master of Ceremonies, Seven, and the Night of the Black Tiger. From the heart of the kingdom of Kush, the lion-headed god, Apedemek. The conquering lion hath prevailed. In the Master of Ceremonies, the Institute's first full-length video documentary. The divinity of Emperor Haile Selassie I was presented with clear, prophetic utterances aligned with accepted historical events. The legendary and esoteric Kemetic Neter deity, Asa, also called Osiris, was shown to have strong similarities in his mythological story with the actual lifetime in our presence of Emperor Haile Selassie I. Asa, the man and the concept was born in ancient Kush, Ethiopia. Haile Selassie I, the man, was born 16 Hamle, Ethiopian calendar, 23rd of July 1892, Western calendar, Harar, Ethiopia, ancient Kush. Like many mythological Messiah type figures, for example, the Christ of the scriptures, Asar became a man at the age of 13. Historically, the same can be said of Emperor Haile Selassie I, who was made the Dejemak, the keeper of the gate, and governor at the age of 13 when he was fully 12. At the coronation of Asar, Osiris, 72 individuals came to crown him King of the world. On the 2nd of November 1930, Emperor Haile Selassie I was coronated King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of Judah. 72 nations were represented at this event. At Osiris's coronation, he was attacked, placed in a coffin, and eventually cut into 16 pieces. It took him exactly 5 years before he was resurrected and became the constellation of Sahu, the Orion constellation. It was exactly 5 years, the 5th of May, 1936, to the 5th of May, 1941, that Haile Selassie I was absent from the throne of Ethiopia, officially. This was during the Italian-Ethiopian War, when Ethiopia was unjustly attacked by Benito Mussolini. Article 16 of Collective Security of the League of Nations of that time was abandoned. Article 16. Osiris was cut into 16 pieces by the 72 that came to his coronation, like the 72 that came to the coronation of the emperor. 5 years exactly for Osiris to resurrect, from the 5th of May 1936 to the 5th of May 1941. Exactly 5 years for the emperor, 5th day and the 5th month. The accurate observation is that the esoteric character of the mythos Osiris, Asar, has manifested in the historical Emperor Haile Selassie I. As was said, this has been made clear with detail in our full-length documentary, The Master of Ceremonies. In this documentary, we will reveal that the Emperor Haile Selassie I has a specific alignment with a little spoken of Kushite deity, Neter, known as Apedemek. The conquering line hath prevailed. And even before we go any further, royal family, give thanks again. You know, many ones might even just be coming in. Of course, now this is the documentary entitled Apedemek. Definitely a documentary very close to my heart, and we'll be saying a few things about that. But I gotta remind you what's taking place So you can keep in mind that this is really a fundraising event that we are having here this evening. So we are definitely looking for ones to participate. Again, we would have laid out the mission to Ethiopia. We would have given you a good understanding of the statement, and I would have highlighted the different sponsorship aspects of the sponsorship that we do have, and we are looking for those who know that they are in the position to choose one of these sponsorship to come on board and partner with us, and of course let us do business together as we are definitely charting the path to a greater future for us and our people. So again, we're definitely highlighting the ambassador's pen. Remember, before the end of the month, the next ambassador's pen will be out. We have a special offer on the ambassador's pen, 50% off. Again, 50% off on every aspect of the ambassador's pen, spread, full, half page. Yes, 50% off for sure. So, I mean, you could get a nice ad for only $200, eh? That's the ambassador's pen for sure, 50% off. So a half page, that's just $200. That's the ambassador's pen. But that specific offer would last you until the 13th of June. So I'm looking forward for ones to even take advantage of that. So, again, you can even donate, but this is what I'm trying to show you. We have value for your donation. You understand? You could definitely get value for what you would, put in and add to the mission. But if you just want to freely make a contribution because you understand the mission, again, remember you can email us priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, of course, and we will give you more information depending on what is the best way for you to make that transaction. And you can also WhatsApp us all the information before you 1268-728-8289. This is Apedemek. And remember, of course, you could even see the uninterrupted version of Apedemek right on our YouTube channel. And you can even purchase the Apedemek for yourself. I think it's only $20. Even a simple thing like that. All of that adds to the mission too. We have the documentary Apedemek. How many of you have purchased the documentary Apedemek for yourself? Just a question. How many of you have purchased The Night of the Black Tiger? What about the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel? Or The Heavens Declare the Glory? The magazines are free, but these are the things. Just a small cost, $15, $20. Yeah, these sort of things. It adds to the admission, definitely. So we have a lot to offer, family. And this is what it's all about. That's why we need to build nationhood begins with us. The Chancellor of Germany visited the Chancellor of Germany visited the President of the US today. What do you think they're talking about? Trade and that kind of stuff and making agreements amongst each other. I give you this and you give me that. Trade and barter. You understand? So those who would be just making a donation is because we would have given the word. We would have showed them the example and they understand the mission. So it's nothing, they are already benefited from just our presence, nothing to send forth that contribution. And then there are those that are going to say, hey, let's do business. I'm going to take one of those ads in the ambassador's pen, or I want one of those sponsorship, or I want to come on the mission with you. Hey, whichever way it will work. All right, Apedemek.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know I speak in behalf of all of my fellow Americans in welcoming His Imperial Majesty back to the United States. Since His Majesty visited the United States nearly a decade ago, we have seen one of the most extraordinary revolutions in history, and that has been the appearance on the world scene of 29 independent countries in the short space of less than 10 years, including over 150 million people. The conference recently held in His Majesty's capital served, I think, to bring together in a great cooperative movement the people of most of these countries. And the success of that conference was due in no small part to the leadership of our distinguished guest. His efforts to move his country forward and provide a better life for its people, and his efforts throughout the world, which stretch back over 30 or 40 years. For all of this, Your Majesty, we take the greatest pride in welcoming you here. You do us honor, and I can assure you that there is no guest that we will receive in this country that will give a greater sense of livelier pride and satisfaction to the American people than your presence here today. Your Majesty, you're most welcome.
In the case of the Treaty of Ujali, here is a power, a foreign power, at the time a modern foreign power, which had been on extremely friendly terms with Menelik. Menelik throughout thought of himself as a friend of Italy and Italy as an ally of Ethiopia. So he had every reason to enter an agreement with these people in good faith. And of course, the treaty was not undertaken in good faith, and the person who was singularly suspicious of the good faith of the Italians was Empress Taitu from the start. And the disputed article, very roughly, said in Amharic that the Italians would, upon request of the Ethiopian side, represent Ethiopian interests in Europe. On the Italian version, the article roughly had the provision that Italy had exclusive rights to represent Ethiopia in any foreign relations. This was, of course, a major limitation on Ethiopian sovereignty. Taitu saw it immediately. Menelik saw it thereafter. Both were utterly determined that whatever it took, they would not accept this version of the treaty. He prepared the diplomatic ground in a very painstaking way. And in the course of carrying out the diplomatic struggle, Menelik also made careful preparations for the war.
The emancipation of slavery came to the British West Indies in 1834, the 1st of August. While in the United States of America, this process took place in the year 1863. Yet still, in 1884, 1885, the Congo Conference, also known as the Berlin Conference, took place in Germany. This was a gathering of the European colonialists of the day, and it is at this conference that they decided to carve up and divide Africa amongst themselves. This became what is known as the scramble for Africa. in Abyssinia, the 17th of August, 1844. Born of the kingdom of Shor, was Sahale Mariam, aka Abba Dagnu, who became the world-renowned Menelik II, Emperor of Abyssinia, Ethiopia, Land of Judah. In 1866, he became the king of the province of Shor after he escaped from Magdala at the fortress of Emperor Tewodros II. He proclaimed himself Emperor of Abyssinia on the 25th day of March, 1889, after the death of his predecessor, Emperor Johannes IV, who was killed on the battlefield. On the 3rd of November 1889, Emperor Menelik II was crowned Negusa Nagas, King of Kings, at the Church of St. Mary on Mount Entoto. Rasmokenen, father of the young Haile Selassie, was the chief representative of Emperor Menelik II and hero of Adawa. In 1896, the Italian army was utterly defeated at Adawa. All of Africa was colonialized at such time. Even Liberia was a creature of the United States of America. Ethiopia preserved its independence. Emperor Menelik gave the Italians Meneliks, Empress Taitu and Rasmokenen, plus the Ethiopian warriors, united to destroy Rome. According to the legend, Kedes Girugis, Saint George, joined the battle against the enemy. The Lion of Judah hath prevailed. The title, The Lion of Judah, like the title, The King of Kings, belongs to the Solomonic line of Ethiopian kings. After 1870, the imperial flag with the Lion of Judah was established. After the defeat of the Italians at Adawa, Menelik II hoisted the red, gold, and green red upstand on the 6th of October, 1897. After he passed in 19... And I think that is very important history, for us to highlight. And Menelik II hoisting the red, gold, and green, specifically with the red upstand after the Battle of Adawan. And, of course, ones will say, well, because Bobo Shanti and, well, yeah, you're right, it's because of all of that too. But no, all right, we're more mature than that. It's because we are not going to be timid because of that same religious outlook that many ones have. This is why we have to highlight this so ones can understand that this is not just make-believe or just speaking off of our head. This is a true reality. This is a true concept. This is the Ethiopian flag. When Menelik II defeated the Italians, Menelik II rose the flag with the red upstand. Now, as I said, ones would tell you, Queen Victoria came down in Ethiopia, and it's said the very same way they would have learned it. But this is why I myself would challenge ones to explain that in fine detail, with clarity for me without just repeating that statement there. No, I'm serious, because you got to be able to explain things. Look at the date. You got the date here, exactly when the flag was hoisted by Menelik in 97, 6th of October, 1897. So as soon as we defeat them, you know, as you saw the banner from such time, and you know, I always have to highlight Priest Anthony Marret for his great works as it relates to highlighting the banners of Ethiopia. Of the Italians at Adawa, Menelik II hoisted the red, gold, and green red up stand on the 6th of October, 1897. After he passed in 1913, the imperial flag returned with the Lion of Judah. And let me just come in there, pardon me, Lions. You see, the thing is now that's just a perfect example that when we look at, for example, the mission to Ethiopia. Now, this was the cover was designed by myself, and as you can see within my own design, I would have put the flag, Ethiopian flag, with the red up. Now, it's not necessarily the, okay, let's say the Congress flag, then the EABIC flag. It doesn't have any emblems in it, and because of the whole affair associated with the AU CARICOM meeting in Ethiopia, that's why you see these three banners here. Now, the reason why I would have put the flag or the banner in the hand of Menelik, the red up, because that's his banner. This is my point. That's his flag. Now, the reality is, that's not something that is well known all over Ethiopia, especially amongst the younger generations, especially amongst anyone. Yeah, your generation, whoever, that's not like knowledge. You understand? We just have a flag and we have a flag. Ones may not even understand the history as Priest Maret of the transition of the banner from the rainbow in the heavens to what we have now. So those of us who stand for the concept of the red up, and ones would argue and say, well, this and that, and and of course Haile Selassie get crowned under the banner. We understand all of that, especially those of us who can comprehend scriptures and know that knowledge is good, but in all of your get understanding. Trust me, understanding, when you add it to the knowledge, it's a bit different. But again, not arguing that point. Not arguing at all. But the point is showing you this is why I would have put the banner in the hand of Menelik II, specifically the red of the rainbow banner, because this is his banner. This was his choice after defeating the Italians. And again, you could see in the return of the spirit, because remember, Menelik passed 1913, and we know King Emmanuel came 1914. You see it? Yeah, man. And we know the similarities. We understand the connection and everything. And Menelik Emmanuel, the same red up banner, the same concept, same Battle of Adawa, 1st of March, formation of the Congress, EABIC, the 1st of March. Adawa 1896, Congress 1958, and we can go on and on with that. So yes, let us return to Apedemek now. We just highlighted that for you. The lion has always been a symbol of strength and power in the ancient African system of monarchy. Apedemek, also referred to as the Sphinx, is seen with the body of a lion and the head of a human monarch. Some say that it is that of an empress. Empress Hatshepsut is seen in the form of a lion, the lioness. King Akhenaten and many others throughout the ancient world portray themselves in the fashion of the king of beasts. In culture and theology, some of the more earlier known deities are seen in the fashion of the lion. Tefnut, wife of Shu, in the ancient Kemetic mythos is seen as a lion. Sekhmet, the daughter of Ra and the eyes of the same, is the fierce lioness goddess Neter. Even kingdoms and nations that are not known for having lions have portrayed the beast in flags, coat of arms, etc. In the Bible, the messianic figure is seen as the Lion of Judah. The 23rd day of July, 1892, as Ra, the sun, begins its journey towards Leo, the constellation of the Lion. At this very moment, Liege Tafari was born. Born the son of the great Ras Mokene and Wazirio Yeshimagat. Born in the city of Hara, considered one of the holiest cities in Islam. The wise mind of the young Tafari earned him the title of the Dejamak at the age of 13, plus governance of several provinces at a very young age, to include Hara, Kidemi, and Gori. On the 27th day of September, the feast of Maskal, the commemoration of the finding of the true cross of Christ, 1916, he took the title of Ras and became regent to the throne of Ethiopia, Abyssinia. At that time, Princess Zaditu, the daughter of Menelik II, became Empress Zaditu, Empress of Ethiopia. Rastafari, although regent, was the power behind the government. This was made plain by Empress Zaditu herself. As regent, he toured Europe on diplomatic missions, and because of his shrewd and wise outlook, he managed to place Ethiopia into the League of Nations. Remember that the League of Nations was made up of predominantly European countries. Ethiopia was an independent African country amongst the colonializers of the rest of Africa.
Yes, could you talk a bit about the day of the coronation?
Yes, my coronation day was very memorable to me. Not only we had Ethiopian participants in the event, but also a lot of foreign emissaries partook in the celebration of the coronation day.
The coronation itself was a Coptic service, Your Imperial Majesty.
They are the Coptic, but also the Ethiopian bishop. They are with the Coptic churchmen.
In 1930 was a memorable day in the history of Ethiopia. Since the early hours of that morning, all in Addis Ababa began to prepare for the impressive event of the morning. The Emperor and Empress Manen had already spent the hours since the night before in prayer and meditation with the priests at the most holy altar within St. George's Cathedral, the largest church in the capital. Through the early morning, the chanting of priests continued.
Now, you see again, family, this is what we would have always highlighted. Please pardon me. And again, let me just say this too. The video that you are watching, you can see it in the Ambassador's Pen, the most recent edition of the Ambassador's Pen. The Ambassador's Pen, the magazine, of course, the Ambassador's Pen, the magazine, the most recent edition of the Ambassador's Pen, which is the revolutionary edition, the progress of our Captain Ibrahim Chori. And of course, you can just flip a few pages and you will find Apedemek. It's in there somewhere, and you just press it. And of course, oh, there it is, Apedemek in the Ambassador's Pen. And since we're on this page, let me highlight this as well. This is another restoration, renovation project that would have just been officially sealed up. The inauguration as such, not really inauguration, but the sealing up of the restoration of the Taitu, Empress Taitu Cultural and Educational Center, inaugurated officially. And we highlight that this is a piece done by the Honorable Empress Naya, a beautiful piece highlighting the Empress herself, Taitu, and the Cultural Center. And you see here, this is the Mayor of Addis Ababa and some other esteemed sisters cutting the ribbon for the opening of that center. So on that page, that's page 9. You can go into the description below the video, and you just press the description, and the magazine will show up. Page 9, you just press the link, and you can see the whole Apedemek for yourself. And you can still purchase Apedemek, even though you can watch it, for free, but still you can still be a patriot and purchase it. It's only $15 or $20. That is Apedemek was right here in this specific edition. In fact, Apedemek is usually in all of our magazines. So you'll be able to just press the link and go straight to Apedemek. Now, but what I was saying, so the information that you were just taking in there a moment ago, this is the point, royal family. How many people you think in Ethiopia, no, I mean black people in general, that knows that knowledge, have that, access to that information there? Well, everyone has access to it because it's there. We just showed it to you. It's on everyone's device. Everyone's device has that information. If I could speak at the top of my voice and everyone with a celly in their hand heard me say to go to Priest Isaac Institute.com or Priest Isaac YouTube channel and search for Apedemek, and then everyone responded, it would show up. Everyone has access to it. If 50 people respond, well, 50 people responded, but everyone still has or had access to it if they wanted to. So information and knowledge is different now. It's there, you know. But again, that doesn't mean one's even know that it's there. You know, it's not a matter of not getting the answers to the questions that you want answered. Some people are not even to the level to ask the right question. Some people don't even know that those sort of questions exist. The topic, the subject, we didn't even know there's a subject on that. That's the first time we heard of that. And this is the realms that we live in, you know. Yes, history, Haile Selassie and all of that is it's bad enough that most people don't know. But the people of the empire of Ethiopia are very, very much removed from the information that you just saw a moment ago. But listen to me now. Listen to me. Definitely not doom and gloom. Let's rejoice. Let's jump for joy. If you noticed a moment ago, that wasn't your good old brother here giving you some long speech on exactly how things were running in Ethiopia. No, you were literally entertained by a well put together documentary with visuals, visual and audio, well in sync to your senses. You were full joy. You liked it. It was a nice film, and this is what the Institute is all about. We may meet and greet and speak, but it's all about putting things in a package, to literally make it palatable for whichever generation, whichever dimension you want to hit. So we even create baby food here. Yeah, we make baby food here. You want me to show you some baby food? We make baby food here. The same subject, we put it in a way that a little child with full joy, especially in this technological world when you can look, you're giving them your tablet to hold because you're going to cook some food or wash the dishes. Well, it's bad enough you're going to do that. But if you're going to do that, if you have to do that, well, I have something that you can put on the tablet that will keep them entertained for an hour or two and will teach them a thing or two or three or 500. Yeah, you see? So that's what the Institute is about. So that history, that rich history that you just saw, it was in documentary form. It's, I would call that a mini documentary. It's just an hour long, and the younger generations would sit and take it in the theater, especially with the surround sound. They would leave the theater having a better understanding of Haile Selassie. Not that if the professor was to lecture to them for 45 minutes, it wouldn't give the same impact as well, or even a different level of the impact, but it would still be impactful. The point is, family, Haile Selassie said that Ethiopia awaits its creators and creations, or creation. Ethiopia awaits uh, 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 its creators and creations. Keep saying creations and creation. Let me say it one more time. Ethiopia awaits its creators and creation. That's us. That is us. Don't count out the seventh region. They call it the sixth region, but you know who I'm talking about. Those in the as poorer, no dying anymore here. And we regaining our wealth. And we have a lot to offer, family. Listen to me good. We have a lot to offer. It's obvious that for sure, the Institute, without a doubt, has a lot to offer, number one, to Ethiopia and to Africa. We have the educational programs already intact. We have the astronomical programs already intact. You see us going there just certified in international diplomacy. And then at the same time, we have the marketing agenda. We have the magazines as well. We have a whole teaching. We have a program, what they call it, syllabus and curriculum and many other aspects of our economic program that we can bring to our brothers and sisters in in Africa in general. You see what I'm saying? And this obviously will morph into the bigger goal. Family, you know what the goal is, and this is why I'm just happy for those of you who understand that this is teamwork. Everyone is not going to get this. I know that every one of you not going to really understand that this is a teamwork. Many of you are going to appreciate it. In fact, I'm sure most, if not all of you, I really appreciate what you're seeing. You know, I know you do. But there's something still missing. We don't understand that this is a teamwork. You know, this is something that I am not doing. So the brothers and the sisters that are doing it, especially if I'm not say convinced, but if I am definitely bought in that, hey man, this is really towards our benefit. Yeah, man, definitely it is your duty to even contribute, to partake, to be a part of in one way or the other. And if you feel as if, man, sounds good, but I don't need no ads. I don't want to go to Ethiopia. I got a lot of things here to do. Man, I wish you all the best. Okay, it's right there. Donate. That's it. We won't trouble you. It's all right. If you don't want no ad, you don't want anything, not even, it's okay. You can donate. You could just email us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com. And of course, we also give you the WhatsApp link. You could WhatsApp us and let us know who you are and you would like to donate whatever the amount is. And I'm still looking for the family to pledge. Those who may be saying, yeah, man, I'm with you, because I know you're there. Yeah, I'm with you. By the end of the month, I'm going to be able to. Well, let me know you're with me. Just let me know you're with me. All of that is professionalism to you. Your professionalism. So you give a word and you keep the word. We like to give words and keep words. So professionalism. So yes, my brother, this is so and so and so. I'm from this place and the other place, and I'm gonna pledge, $500, and I expect to get that to you by the 15th of June. You can count on that, and so and so and so, and that's it, straight up. And of course, professionalism, we deal with receipts, we deal with the full works. And of course, everyone know that we deal with accountability and I mean, we're on a mission, that we have to report to the world and not just a report. This is an eternal thing. This is a continuation, just another door opening in the mission of eternity, which is freedom, redemption, international repatriation. Listen, everyone cannot really read my mind. Obviously, what I'm saying is coming out of my mind, so at least you should pick up something. But what you're hearing here is what's beating out of here. You understand? I always say, even if you were to gag my mouth, you'll still hear my heart speaking, because we speaking from the heart. So everything we speak in here is the mission of the Most High as far as we comprehend it, that we are doing. Again, let me just give you a quick run through of the proposal itself, quite in depth. It gives you a good overview, which I started to read for you, so at least you have an idea, give you a idea also of what we expect to do in the way of lectures, presentations, as far as the screenings of even the movie Apedemek that you were watching there a moment ago. Again, we highlight our team so you could understand the professionalism of the mission that we're putting forward. And then we have a section here that highlights the advertisement of our magazine. And again, let me remind you once again that you have until the 13th of June to take advantage of the 50% off in the Ambassador's Pen, specifically the edition that will be coming out before the end of the month. You understand? Now you can advertise in the ambassador's pen for the edition coming at the end of the month without wait, you can even be on the 13th of June, but they're 50% off. Imagine getting a nice half page for only $200. Hmm? But you got to do that before the 15th of June. I just want you to clearly understand you're getting maximum promotion. Let me be clear. Nothing, if you pay that and you put it on Facebook and Instagram, I'm positive you ain't getting the same amount of push. Why? Because we pushing it on Facebook and Instagram and even on some other levels too. That's why we have programs, the evolution programs, even showing you the different, aspects of marketing and emailing and certain different skills with which assists you in not only drawing attention but making an impact, especially if your mission is to thrive and expand. Yeah. Family, those of you who are serious of thriving and expanding and financial freedom. Yeah, it's like constant chess playing, constant thinking, and constant keeping motivated and many different things, checking the company that you keep and all of these different things is so important. The things you do, the things you watch, the things you read, if you read at all. That's why we do the magazine too. It may be digital, but it encourages reading outside of just the watching. Also, the magazine Kidemi, which of course is bigger than the Ambassador's Pen. It comes out twice a year. Not that the audience is drastically different, but there's a different energy that goes to Kidemi, and that is why Kidemi is the magazine that you will find on the digital board in the hotels, in the resorts, on the airplanes, on the international trains. That's where you will find Kidemi. So it has a different realms. Even than the ambassador's pen. Not that you can't find the ambassador's pen in those regions, but as you can see, the geopolitics of it just has a totally different flavor. But any which way you go, you're in a good marketing zone with the ambassador's pen or with Kidemi. Also, we highlighted the sponsorship choices that you have from the full to the platinum, the diamond, the gold, the silver. And again, what is you can get with it, very good value for what is being given. Huh? So these are packages that I mean, that's what business is about. You should have a product that's $10. You should have a product that's $5. You should have a product that's $500. You should have a product that's $5,000. And if you have a product that's $5,000, 500,000, and it'll be nice if you have a $5 million product. That means you really know what you're into. You can sell to anybody, any level, and that's it. So you may be saying, boy, 118,000. Okay, I surely understand what you mean, but there's someone that's not nothing. You understand? And if they understand the value they're getting, they will be so happy to make that deal. They were waiting for this, but it's my duty to find them. That's why marketing, promotion, videos, interviews, and articles. You got to get out there. More people have to know you. If you have a business and you want people to know you, you just got to push and make yourself available. Because there's someone that will fully sponsor this in a whim because they see the value. You understand? In fact, there's a next person that not looking for no value, but hey, I love Priest Isaac. Yeah, man, bring some millions and less. That it exists, but it's my duty to make sure that as many people as possible know what it is that I have to offer. We say that all the time. That's what marketing and promotion is all about. You could have the best smelling, the best tasting, the best looking, the most colorful. Nothing goes as fast as this one. But if people don't know, yeah, the worst will still be the first. All right. Hey, I just made that up, eh? I just made that up. You ain't gonna hear that nowhere else. And no, let's coin that one day. The worst will be the first if you don't mark it. All right. Yes, give thanks. All right. And so just going through, you see the tentative events that we there's going to be some changes for sure. We already foresight that, but again, it still gives you an idea of our goals and our targets for this mission. And also you get details as it relates to the Ethiopian national trip, using Ethiopian Airlines and the different places from the Simeon Mountains and Gondar and Aksum and all of that you'll be visiting those who would be coming on that aspect as well. So family, it is deep. And I'm just looking for the loved ones to pay some level of interest to this. As you can see, what your brother and the family is doing is a serious, genuine mission in the name of Rastafari. This is how we get on the battlefield. I don't know how you get down, you understand, but this is Menelik II here. This is how we do it on the battlefield. And I'll be very thankful for anyone that sees it fit to join me on the battlefield and say, hey, my brother, here's a 50, here's 100, here's a 500,000, whatever. I want a full sponsorship. I can take a half sponsorship. I would like to come with you. Give me a space in the magazine. Family, there's something that those of you who appreciate this can do. And this is another thing. I'm not talking to everybody. I mean, they have spies and people watching to see me fall on my face here. I ain't talking to them people there. They're there. I'm happy they're there. They add to the crowd too. You know, they are there. There's some that don't even get the point. It's all right. We happy. We'll next time around. But there are many of you that definitely get the point. Many of you that understand the reality. Many of you that even say it with your mouth. Yeah, good works. Great, great. Yeah, man. Now is the time. I'm very serious. Now is the time. So we're looking for not just the pledges, but for the action. And really now, when I say now is the time, not because we said September. If you read the proposal officially from August is when the mission begins. I mean, now got to be the time. So we know exactly where we are. So family, this is something that doesn't have a deadline really, but it's not something to wait in the next couple of months. It's now, like tonight. As I said, I'm looking for ones to at least pledge and start to make their donations now. Start to make up your mind where you want to fit in to be a part of this serious mission. Where you want to fit in. There are many aspects. I just explained it all where we can fit in. And again, you can get the proposal for yourself and read for yourself.
Outside the church, and nearly all over Addis Ababa, devoted subjects were dancing and chanting praise songs for the new emperor in Amharic.
The son of Ras Makonnen, Haile Selassie, will feed us. His justice is like that of an angel. May God give long life to Haile Selassie, the child of our country.
The ritualistic ceremonies of the coronation were performed in a large auditorium adjacent to the west side of the cathedral, which had been especially constructed for the occasion.
Shortly after 7:30 a.m., His Imperial Majesty, attired in white silk communion robes, entered the ceremonial hall from the church with an escort of aides and the clergy, chanting in the old Coptic language a processional hymn. The spiritual vestment is worn by the Archangel Michael. The precious chasuble is worn by Michael.
Took his place on the throne. Thereupon the ceremony began. The Coptic Archbishop of Ethiopia, representing His Holiness the Pope of Alexandria, with his throaty voice, announced,
Ye princes and ministers, ye nobles and chiefs of the army, ye professors and priests, ye people of Ethiopia, look ye upon our Emperor Haile Selassie I, descended from the dynasty of Menelik I, who was born of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, a dynasty perpetuated without interruption from that time to King Haile Selassie and to our times.
And I know there's some even thinking, how could I really contribute to this? Now, you could even, instead of, for those who may not want to get into details of getting the value that we have, like advertising and everything, you could purchase a ticket. You may say, where should I fit it? All right, you could fit it in that way, whether it's purchasing a ticket or sponsoring some aspect of the mission, because that is detailed in the proposal too. As I said, security is a must. You understand? So that alone shows you this is now a kindergarten move, no sightseeing business, because we need, for what we're going to do, security is a must. Remember, this is not sponsored by a government, and it's a government move. That's the mentality we're going on. And if we don't hit it to the level we'd like to, but it's all right, because we didn't come to fail, and we come to keep doing it until we break down the walls of Jericho. That's what life is about. So even again, when you become more acquainted with our proposal, you could even pick what aspect you would like to take care of. You may say, hey, listen, brother, I would like to purchase one of those tickets. Put me down for a ticket. And then, of course, we would have to explain, the different, how it is with the flight arranged, because this is more than just a ticket. And there's no plane leaving here and going straight there. Let me tell you that. So you understand, which obviously makes it more costly. Yeah, so it's a lot. It really is a lot. And I'm very thankful for those who are already pledging, those who are already going to contribute and contributing. I'm very serious because, as I said, you could see it's a serious mission, and we're very thankful as well. So you can do that. As you go through and get acquainted with the proposal, you can pick exactly what area you'd like to invest in.
The emperor was then vested with the 7 ornaments of the coronation, including his gold sword studded with precious stones, a diamond-encrusted ring, 2 traditional lances, the imperial scepter, and a golden globe of the earth, the imperial vestments, and at last came the magnificent crown. 7 differently scented ointments of ancient prescription were received on the imperial head, brow, and shoulders, one with each of these ornaments. The final ceremony was a grand tour of the cathedral by the emperor and empress, who was also crowned, but with less elaborate rites. They were escorted by the priests and bishops, princes and high dignitaries, Ethiopian bishops and priests from all over Ethiopia, and a large number of Coptic deacons, carrying palm branches and chanting in mighty volume.
Hosanna, blessed be the King of Israel. Blessed is he who cometh in the name of the Lord.
On the 1st of November 1930, Emperor Haile Selassie I unveiled the statue of Menelik II, riding triumphant, Battle of Adawa hero. This was the 25th anniversary of himself
Emperor Haile Selassie I, being given the title the Deshamash when he was 13 years of age in 1905. This unveiling of the statue of his great predecessor, Menelik II, on the 1st of November 1930 was done the day before the coronation of himself, Emperor Haile Selassie I, on the 2nd of November 1930, which is exactly 1 day shy of the 41st anniversary of the coronation of the very same Emperor Menelik II, which took place on the 3rd of November 1889 in the Entoto Mountains. The conquering line hath prevailed.
The Italian poor and the unemployed were promised a place in the sun, with free land and an easy fortune in the conquered empire. The mechanical power of Italy's armory was Mussolini's guarantee of a quick, clean war with few Italian casualties. As the chemical warfare service shipped poison gas throughout the summer, troops...
And you know, I gotta come in here, push Mussolini aside there, you know, to just highlight to the importance of even again the historical and educational component here. And the Battle of Adawa is something that, again, strong energy for that in Ethiopia and the heroes of the Battle of Adawa. And of course, what the Battle of Adawa meant to Ethiopia and how the resistance against colonialism and colonialization and everything. But now, the battle now that you just saw highlighted there when Mussolini entered in 1935, 1936. We just celebrated that a few days ago in May. The 5th of May is called Victory Day or Patriots Day. But yet still, the involvement of Haile Selassie in that is not something that you could feel at all. You hardly get that energy. You know, it comes up here and there. I'm talking in the Ethiopian community for those, but it's about the patriots. It's the patriots who won the war. And even the elders will tell you when we were younger, even after the war, you know, in places like Gondar and these places, they were teaching us that it was the teachers that were brought in the British schools that were helping us to get ourselves back on our feet, were teaching us that it was the British that won the war for us. So you see all of these things, they need some serious cleaning up. You understand? They need some serious cleansing. And this is why, again, our mission is very important. Probably I'm going to look to seal up here, but let me show you something in the ambassador's pen, the recent ambassador's pen. Again, for those of you who may be a little shy and you don't want to email to get you the proposal, well, the full proposal is not in the ambassador's pen. But you have the overview and you have the fundraiser methodology and the same sponsorships that you can choose from. So that's inside of the ambassador's pen itself, the most recent edition, not the previous editions prior to this. This is the revolutionary edition that just came out a few days ago. And within that, you will see also, you see the rates for advertising in the very same ambassador's pen. So the link is in the description below. It is well titled, The Revolutionary Edition of the Ambassador's Pen. And of course, you can do
wonders with that. Give thanks, Royal Family. Give thanks for all the support already. Give thanks for those who will be supporting as well. And I am looking forward to hearing from you and hoping that even some of you can be a part of the experience with us. Royal Family, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And yes, you know, it takes some real eyes to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Life giver and the keeper of life, Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah Rastafari. It is fully blessed, and we give thanks.